Welcome to the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. Into the world of wicked questions.
Wicked questions.
And no, we're not talking about trick questions or, trying to stump you.
Right. It's not about like gotcha moments or anything like that.
Yeah.
Think of it more as a key that unlocks hidden doors in problems.
Okay.
So it's about finding those challenges and possibilities you wouldn't normally see.
I like that. And for this deep dive, we're using an excerpt from the Liberating Structures website.
Yes.
They're all about finding new ways to tackle tough problems.
Yeah. And the excerpt starts with this great quote from Niels Bohr.
Okay.
How wonderful that we have met with a paradox. Now we have some hope of making progress.
Ooh, I like that.
And that's exactly what wicked questions are for.
Okay.
They help us make progress when things seem paradoxical.
Okay. So how does a question become wicked?
Yeah.
Is it just about being extra tough?
Not exactly. A wicked question isn't about finding a single right answer. It's more about getting you to think more deeply about the problem.
Okay.
You see, in any situation, especially during times of change, there are always opposing forces at play.
Like trying to save money, but also wanting to invest in new opportunities.
Exactly.
Those kind of feel like opposites, but you need both.
Yeah, and usually we try to simplify things.
Right.
Pick one side and ignore the other.
Yeah.
But a wicked question, it forces us to acknowledge the messiness, the reality that both sides exist.
Yeah.
And they both matter. And that's where the real progress starts.
So it's not about finding a simple solution.
Right.
It's about understanding the complexity.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
It's about strategic thinking, seeing the whole picture and asking yourself how these seemingly opposite forces can actually work together.
This is making me think about all those times I got stuck in either situations.
Yeah.
Like if I had embraced the complexity, maybe I could have found a better solution.
Yeah, that's a trap we all fall into.
Yeah.
But wicked questions give us a way out.
Okay, so how do we actually create these wicked questions?
Yeah.
Is there like a secret formula or something?
Well, the source actually provides a pretty neat template.
Okay.
Okay, it guides you to structure your question like this.
Right.
How is it that we are simultaneously...
So it's about finding those two opposing forces and putting them together in the same question.
Yes.
Kind of like, how is it that we need to be both cautious and bold in this market?
That's a fantastic example.
Okay.
You hit the nail on the head.
Right.
By framing the question this way, you're forced to consider both sides of the coin at the same time. And that's where the magic happens. It sparks a whole new level of thinking.
I actually had an experience using this wicked question format that helped me break through like a creative block.
Oh, wow.
We were working on a new product.
Okay.
And we were stuck between making it simple and user-friendly.
Right.
But also wanting to pack in as many features as possible.
The classic dilemma of simplicity versus functionality. That's a tension that exists in so many areas.
Exactly. And we went back and forth for ages. But then someone suggested we frame it as a wicked question.
Oh.
And so we asked ourselves, how can this product be both incredibly simple to use and offer a wide range of powerful features?
And what happened?
It was amazing.
Wow.
By putting those two seemingly opposite ideas together in the question, we stopped trying to choose one over the other. And we started exploring ways to achieve both.
Okay.
It actually led us to like a really innovative design solution that we wouldn't have considered otherwise.
That's a perfect example of how powerful wicked questions can be.
Yeah.
They push you beyond those easy answers and force you to wrestle with the real complexity of the situation.
Okay, so we've established that wicked questions can be powerful tools.
Yes.
But why should we bother using them? What's in it for us, the listeners?
Yeah, well, the source lists several reasons.
Okay.
But one that really stands out to me is how wicked questions can help us avoid those frustrating wild swings in decision-making.
Oh, tell me about it.
You know those times when you make a choice based on one set of priorities and then completely reverse course?
Yeah.
When another concern pops up?
I feel like I'm constantly swinging back and forth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those wild swings, they can be exhausting and unproductive.
Yes.
But by asking a wicked question from the start, you're forced to consider multiple perspectives and priorities right away.
Okay.
It's like building a more balanced and resilient approach from the ground up.
So instead of reacting to each new challenge as it arises, you're proactively anticipating those opposing forces
Yes,
and finding ways to integrate them into your thinking.
you got it.
Okay.
Wicked questions help you avoid overcorrecting in one direction or another because you're constantly aware of those paradoxical forces that
Yeah.
are always at play.
It's like building a more stable foundation for your decisions.
Exactly. And remember, this doesn't mean you'll always find the perfect solution.
Right.
But by embracing that complexity from the start, you're more likely to arrive at decisions that are sustainable in the long run.
Okay, so wicked questions. Not for the faint of heart,
Yeah.
but they definitely seem worth exploring
They are.
for anyone who's ready to think differently and achieve more lasting results.
Well said. And the best part is it's a skill you can develop. The more you practice asking wicked questions, the better you'll become at navigating complexity
Okay.
and finding those innovative solutions that might have been hidden in plain sight.
This is already giving you a lot to think about, but before we unleash these wicked questions on the world,
Yeah?
I'm curious about something.
Yeah.
The source mentions some potential traps to avoid.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. Asking a wicked question is a powerful first step,
Yeah.
but it's not enough.
Okay.
There are certain pitfalls you need to be aware of to make sure the process actually works.
So it's not just about asking any random question
Right.
with two opposing ideas.
Ex-
There's more to it than that.
You can have a perfectly crafted, wicked question,
Uh-huh.
but if you fall into certain traps, you can sabotage the entire process.
Like what kind of traps?
Well,
Give us an example.
one common pitfall is asking what the source calls nasty questions.
Okay.
These are questions that sound like wicked questions on the surface, but actually create more problems than they solve.
Okay, give us an example of a nasty question.
Okay, here's one they mention. How can we focus on our customers when we're forced to spend more and more time on headquarters bureaucracy?
Ooh, I can see how that could get messy fast.
Yeah,
It feels very pointed and accusatory.
exactly. It's a trap because it immediately assigns blame
Right.
and creates a defensive atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that's the opposite of what we want with wicked questions.
Right.
We want to spark open-minded exploration, not shut down the conversation.
So it's not about pointing fingers or playing the blame game.
Right. It's about fostering a spirit of genuine inquiry and collaboration. Remember, wicked questions are all about exploring those paradoxical forces, finding ways to make seemingly opposite ideas work together.
Right.
That nasty question is doing the opposite. It's trying to pit those forces against each other,
Yeah.
which just leads to conflict and resistance.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So besides avoiding nasty questions, what are some other tips and traps
Yeah.
to keep in mind as we embark on our wicked question journey?
Well, one crucial tip is to remember that it's an iterative process.
Okay.
Don't expect to craft the perfect wicked question right away.
Right.
It often takes refining, getting feedback,
Uh-huh.
and looking at the problem from multiple angles.
So it's about embracing the messiness, being open to feedback, and not getting discouraged if the first attempt isn't perfect.
Exactly. Another important tip is to avoid questions that can be answered with like a simple data analysis.
Okay.
Remember, wicked questions are about grappling with the deeper, often unspoken dynamics at play.
Right.
They're not about finding a quick fix
Yeah.
or a numerical answer.
Okay, so no asking, what's our customer satisfaction rating?
Right.
That's just a data point, not a deep dive
Exactly.
into the complexity of customer experience.
Precisely. And finally, remember that wicked questions are best explored collaboratively.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to bounce ideas off others.
Uh-huh.
Involve different perspectives.
Yeah.
Invite diverse voices to the table. The more insights you gather,
Right.
the richer your understanding will be.
This is fantastic. I'm already starting to see wicked questions working everywhere,
Yeah,
but let's bring this to life with some real-world examples from the source.
great idea. I think the examples will really help solidify our understanding and show how versatile these wicked questions can be.
All right, so let's start with one that resonated with me, especially as someone who's always trying to find that elusive work-life balance. The source mentions this one. How is it that I am simultaneously dedicated to my work and being fully present for my family?
Ah, it's a classic. It perfectly captures that paradoxical tension so many of us experience.
Right, we all have limited time and energy.
Yeah.
And this wicked question forces us to acknowledge those trade-offs we're constantly making.
Yeah.
It invites us to be more intentional about how we spend our time and how we define success in both our professional and personal lives.
And it's not about finding a perfect solution.
Right.
Let's be honest, there probably isn't one.
Yeah.
But it's about making more conscious choices and recognizing that trying to have it all is inherently complex.
It's about striving for that dynamic equilibrium,
Yes.
knowing that the balance point might shift from day to day, week to week, depending on what's happening in our lives.
Precisely. And that's a much more realistic and empowering perspective
Yeah,
than beating ourselves up for not achieving some mythical ideal of perfect balance.
I love it. Okay, let's dive into another example.
Okay.
This one caught my eye because it applies to something I'm struggling with right now.
Oh, yeah.
Managing a team of creative people. The source poses this wicked question.
Right.
How is it that we can foster a culture of both radical collaboration and individual brilliance?
That's a great one.
Yeah.
It highlights the tension that often exists in creative teams.
Right.
You want people to feel empowered to express their unique talents and perspectives.
Yeah.
But you also need them to work together effectively towards a shared goal.
It's like trying to create a symphony
Yeah.
where each instrument has its own solo moment but also contributes to the overall harmony of the piece.
Beautifully put. And
Yeah.
that's the challenge this wicked question invites us to explore.
Right.
How can we create an environment where individual creativity can flourish while also nurturing a strong sense of shared purpose and collaboration?
It's about finding that sweet spot where those two seemingly opposing forces can actually complement
Yeah.
and amplify each other.
Exactly. And I think this question is particularly relevant in today's world where remote work and distributed teams are becoming more common. How do you maintain that sense of creative synergy when people aren't physically together in the same space?
Ooh, that adds another layer of complexity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how wicked questions can be applied to such a wide range of challenges, both personal and professional.
Absolutely. They're not limited to a specific industry or field.
Yeah.
You can apply them to anything from parenting to product development to organizational change.
Right.
The possibilities are endless.
These examples are great, but they're all from the source material.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered a wicked question in your own work that illustrates how broadly applicable they can be?
You know, I have one
Yeah.
that sticks out is from the world of, are you ready for this fashion design?
Fashion design. Okay, I definitely didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, I was working with a designer who was trying to create a clothing line that was both high fashion and sustainable.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Is
Those two concepts often seem at odds with each other.
Exactly. But instead of getting stuck in that either-or mindset. Right.
We framed it as a wicked question.
Okay.
How is it that we can create clothing that is both stunningly beautiful and ethically produced using sustainable materials?
I love that. So you took that tension, that seeming contradiction,
Yeah.
and turned it into a catalyst for innovation.
Precisely. And it led to some truly groundbreaking designs and production techniques.
Wow.
That wouldn't have been possible if we had approached it from a more traditional perspective.
That's incredible. It really shows how wicked questions can push us beyond our preconceived notions.
Yes.
And open up new realms of possibility.
Exactly. It's all about reframing those impossible dilemmas
Yeah.
into opportunities for creative problem solving.
I'm already feeling inspired to start asking wicked questions everywhere I go.
Me too.
But I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface here. Is there more to this?
Oh, we are just getting started. The real magic of wicked questions lies in what happens after you ask them.
I knew there was more to it. Okay, I can't wait to hear what comes next. Well, then you won't want to miss part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll explore how to move beyond the question and into the realm of action.
Ooh, I love it. This is getting good.
It is.
All right, stay tuned.
Yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Last time we dove into what wicked questions are and how they can help us embrace complexity.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to move beyond just asking the questions.
You're in for a treat.
Okay.
Because today we're exploring how these wicked questions can spark action and drive real change.
The source mentions a section called Riffs and Variations,
Yes.
which sounds intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
What's that all about?
So think of riffs and variations as like a toolkit
Okay.
filled with different ways to use these wicked questions.
Okay.
They're like power-ups
Ooh.
that amplify the insights you've gained
Okay.
and help you actually do something with them.
So we've sparked the fire with our wicked question.
Yes.
And now we're adding fuel to the flames with these riffs and variations.
Exactly. It's about going from insight to action.
I like that.
The source suggests using these riffs and variations alongside other liberating structures.
Okay, now liberating structures, I'm not familiar with that term.
Yeah, so liberating structures are basically a collection of methods for working together more effectively.
Okay.
Think brainstorming, decision-making, problem-solving,
Uh-huh.
but in a more collaborative and engaging way.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture, but can we break it down with like a specific example?
Sure.
Let's say we have a team and we've crafted our wicked question.
Hmm.
What's next?
Okay, so let's imagine your team is facing this challenge.
Okay.
How can we be more innovative while also staying true to our core values?
Ooh, that's a good one. A classic wicked question.
Right now, you could dive into a riff and variation called improv prototyping.
Improv prototyping. That sounds fun.
It
Does
is.
it involve acting things out?
You got it. It's like role playing,
Okay.
but for problem solving.
Okay.
So instead of getting stuck in like endless discussions, you
Wow.
actually perform different scenarios based on your wicked question.
Uh-huh.
So you act out different ways of being innovative while also staying true to those core values.
So it's like a brainstorming session, but way more dynamic and engaging.
Precisely. It brings that wicked question to life.
Yeah.
And it helps you uncover potential solutions that might not have been obvious on paper.
I love that. It's like giving yourselves permission to experiment
Yeah.
and learn by doing
Yes.
without the pressure of having to get it right immediately.
Exactly. You might discover that certain approaches feel more natural or effective
Uh-huh.
than others, even if they hadn't seemed promising at first.
This is reminding me of how playfulness can be so important
Yes.
in creative problem solving. It's like giving your mind permission to explore without judgment.
You hit the nail on the head.
Right.
And that's one of the key benefits of these riffs and variations.
Okay.
They create a safe space to play with ideas,
Yeah,
challenge assumptions, and discover those unexpected solutions.
I'm hooked. What are some other riffs and variations
Oh.
that can help us move from wicked question to real action?
Well, there's one called 15% Solutions.
Okay.
It's all about empowering individuals to make a difference,
Uh-huh.
even within like larger systems or organizations.
So it's about recognizing that you don't need to have all the answers or control everything
Right.
to make a positive impact.
Exactly. It's about focusing on what you can do
Right.
with the resources you have to move things in the right direction.
Okay.
It's about those small wins that can add up to big changes over time.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so empowering. It's like saying, okay, we have this complex challenge,
Yeah,
but what's one thing I can do today to make a difference?
precisely. And the beauty of it is that when everyone on a team
Yeah.
starts identifying and implementing their own 15% solutions,
Uh-huh.
it creates this ripple effect that can transform the entire system.
It's like a collective effort where each individual contribution, no matter how small, plays a part in the bigger picture.
Right, and that can lead to much more sustainable and meaningful change than trying to force like a top-down solution.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm ready to start applying wicked questions and riffs and variations to everything.
Great.
But tell me, is there a risk of going overboard? Can everything become a wicked question?
That's a great question,
Yeah.
and it's an important one to consider.
Okay.
While wicked questions are incredibly powerful tools,
Ah.
they're not a magic bullet for every situation.
So when is it appropriate to bring out the wicked questions arsenal?
Here's a simple rule of thumb.
Okay.
When you find yourself stuck in either thinking, when you're dealing with conflicting priorities,
Yeah.
or when you sense there's more to the story than meets the eye,
Right.
that's when a wicked question can be particularly helpful.
It's like a signal that you need to shift your perspective,
Yeah.
embrace the complexity,
Yes.
and go beyond those surface level solutions.
Exactly. And remember, the art of asking wicked questions is a skill that develops over time. The more you practice, the better you'll become at recognizing those opportunities to unlock new levels of thinking and innovation.
This has been an eye-opening conversation.
Good.
I feel like I'm starting to see the world differently, like a giant puzzle,
Uh-huh.
where each piece is connected in unexpected ways.
And that's the beauty of wicked questions.
Yeah.
They help us appreciate the complexity and interconnectedness of everything.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Hmm.
I'm curious about one more riff and variation.
Yeah.
The source mentions 1, 2, 4 all. What's that all about?
So 1, 2, 4 all is all about harnessing the collective wisdom of a group.
Okay.
It's a beautifully structured process for amplifying everyone's voice
Uh-huh.
and making sure the best ideas rise to the surface.
I'm intrigued. How does it work?
It's surprisingly simple.
Okay.
You start by posing your wicked question to the group.
All right.
Then each person takes a few minutes to reflect on the question individually
Okay.
and just jot down their thoughts.
So it begins with quiet reflection, giving everyone a chance to process the question on their own.
Exactly. Then you pair people up
Right.
to share and discuss their individual reflections.
So it moves from individual thinking to partnered sharing.
Right. And here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Those pairs then join with another pair,
Wow.
forming a group of 4.
Okay.
This allows for even more diverse perspectives
Right.
and cross-pollination of ideas.
It's like each step builds upon the previous one, creating a richer and more nuanced understanding.
You got it. And finally, all the groups come together
Okay.
to share their key insights and discuss potential action steps as a whole.
It's like a symphony of ideas,
I love that.
moving from individual notes to a harmonious collective melody.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It perfectly captures the essence of 1, 2, 4 all.
Uh-huh.
It's about creating a space where everyone feels heard and valued,
Right.
and where the collective wisdom of the group can emerge.
This is fantastic. I feel like I've been given a whole new set of tools for working with groups and solving problems collaboratively.
And the best part is these tools are incredibly adaptable. You can use them in all sorts of contexts, from team meetings to community discussions to family gatherings.
So it's not just for businesses or organizations.
Right.
These are life skills that anyone can benefit from.
Absolutely. It's about being more intentional in how we approach challenges, how we work together, and how we make decisions.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah.
It seems like all these rifts and variations are designed to enhance collaboration, creativity, and that action-oriented mindset.
You're spot on. And that's what makes them such powerful companions to wicked questions.
Okay.
They help us move beyond those initial aha moments and into the realm of tangible results.
This has been such a mind-expanding conversation.
Good.
I feel like I've been handed a whole new toolbox for tackling life's complexities.
And the best part is this toolbox is constantly evolving.
Oh, wow.
There are so many other liberating structures and riffs and variations to explore.
Yeah.
It's a playground for innovation.
I'm excited to keep learning and experimenting. But for now, I think we're ready to move on to the grand finale of our deep dive.
Okay.
What do you say?
Sounds good to me. Let's shift gears and explore what happens after we've asked our wicked questions and explored those riffs and variations.
I can't wait. This is where it all comes together. All right, everyone. We've explored what wicked questions are and how to craft them.
We have.
We even touched on some tools to help you take action.
Yes.
But, there's one more piece of the puzzle I think we need to explore.
Okay.
And that's the impact of asking these questions.
Right. The so what factor.
Yes, exactly. The so what factor.
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
Okay. So asking a wicked question isn't just about finding a solution.
Right.
It's about sparking a shift in your thinking,
Uh-huh.
a new way of seeing the world.
It's like putting on a new pair of glasses that reveal hidden patterns and connections.
That's a great way to put it. By
Yeah.
embracing the complexity and those paradoxical forces, you start to see things differently. You become more aware of the nuances and the interconnectedness of everything.
It's like realizing that life isn't a simple either equation,
Right.
but a beautiful tapestry of interconnected threads.
Exactly. And that realization can be incredibly liberating.
Yeah.
It allows you to move beyond those limiting beliefs and assumptions
Uh-huh.
and open yourself up to new possibilities.
So it's not just about solving a specific problem,
Right.
but about expanding your capacity for creative problem solving in general.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating that wicked question mindset,
Okay.
a way of approaching challenges with curiosity and a willingness to embrace the unknown.
I love it. It's like becoming a more adaptable and resilient thinker.
Yes.
Someone who can navigate complexity with grace and even a sense of playfulness.
Exactly. And that's a valuable skill to have in today's rapidly changing world, where
Yes.
we're constantly faced with new challenges and opportunities.
It's been such an insightful conversation. I feel like my brain has been stretched in all sorts of new directions.
That's what we hope to achieve with this deep dive, to spark your curiosity
Yeah.
and empower you to ask those wicked questions that can unlock new levels of understanding and innovation in your own life.
Speaking of sparking curiosity, I think it's time to turn the tables and pose a wicked question directly to our listeners.
I agree. Let's leave them with something to ponder
Yeah.
as they go about their day.
A little mental nugget to chew on.
So, dear listener, here's your challenge.
Okay.
How is it that you are deeply committed to your current path and open to exploring new possibilities?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It touches on that fundamental tension
Yes.
between who we are now and who we aspire to become.
It invites us to consider how we can honor our past experiences
Mm-hmm.
while also embracing the unknown and allowing ourselves to evolve.
It's a question that can apply to so many aspects of our lives.
Yes.
Our careers, relationships, personal growth, even our understanding of the world around us.
And it's not about finding a right answer.
Right.
It's about holding that tension, that beautiful paradox in your mind, and seeing where it leads you.
So as you go about your day, your week, your life,
Yeah.
let that wicked question simmer in the back of your mind.
Yeah?
See what new insights emerge, what unexpected paths begin to unfold.
You might be surprised by where it takes you.
Yeah.
And who knows, you might even find yourself asking wicked questions everywhere you go from now on.
It's contagious. A beautiful kind of contagion that spreads curiosity, creativity, and a passion for tackling life's most intriguing challenges.
And that, my friends, is the power of wicked questions.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of wicked questions. Keep asking those thought-provoking questions, keep pushing the boundaries of your own thinking, and keep embracing the beautiful complexity of life.
Happy questioning.
See you next time on the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. Until next time.
See you then.